As the story of Vic Mignogna and the sexual allegations against him continue, a lot of things seem to be getting worse over on Twitter, with supporters on both the hashtag KickVic and hashtag IStandWithVic movement collide. We have fans, voice actors, and many other people having to interject their opinions in attempting to challenge one another on an intellectual level. However, then you have those that conduct themselves in a very unprofessional manner, as once more, if of course you guys are fans and love Dragon Ball and anime, alongside want to be kept up to date with all latest news, information, and updates surrounding Monica Rial and the Vic Mignogna situation, then be sure to go on ahead and smash that subscribe button, slap a like down below if you guys want this to end, but more importantly, if you guys are a fan of anime as a whole and of course want this to subside sometime soon, then be sure to do that alongside turning on all notifications to always be kept in the loop with all latest updates, as a user by the name of Nightblur goes on to challenge Toye, who is the fiance of Monica Rial, on Twitter, in having to state, and I quote, "You're dodging the question. So far, Vic has been innocent due to lack of evidence, and the fabricated evidence like the swatting incident a funny employee fabricated." As Toye goes on to reply to Nightblur by letting him know, and I quote, "Sammy, who is Samantha that faked the swatting incident that involved Sean Schemmel, is not a Funimation employee. She might have contract acted there in a few bit parts, but really condemned falsification of evidence or reporting falsely," which I think Ron's grammar is absolutely atrocious. This guy really needs to reread certain things before posting on Twitter, but he goes on, "So, continue with your logic. If they investigated and then decided to not work with him anymore, what would that mean? It means that Samantha, who was still employed by Funimation, still lied on behalf of the KickVic movement to further falsify evidence against Vic Mignogna, but Ron is denying that completely." As a user by the name of Andrew goes on to respond to Ron on Twitter by having to state, and I quote, "Putting on a brave face there. Nobody's convicted. Enjoy court. Hashtag IStandWithVic." As Ron responds by stating, "It's not a brave face, it's an excited face. Do you know who the burden of proof is on considering a defamation case? He will have to prove he didn't assault Monica and countless others who are just as excited to put the final nail in the coffin of his career." Yikes. So of course Ron is telling Andrew here that Vic needs to prove himself through the court of law that he did not sexually assault Monica Rial, that he did not sexually assault anybody else, and thus they're looking to put the final nail in the coffin for Vic Mignogna's career once they eventually end up going to court to begin with. Now again, the way Ron is coming off on Twitter seems to be very unprofessional. I do have criticism in his grammar, but then again, that's just me, as fans are simply asking him questions in the fact that he's either denying them or dodging them entirely. Again, it's a very sticky situation and complicated situation to be in, which I do not agree with Ron's stances at all in this entire situation, but a Twitter user by the name of Anime Outsiders 1 went on to post a very interesting tidbit on his Twitter page talking about Funimation, as he went on to state, and I quote, "Funimation did a surprise update on their site which turned their cancel subscription button into a non-functioning link. This is so far the only known knowledge to their site following the update." As he goes on to continue, Funimation claimed that their update was regularly scheduled maintenance on the site, yet the update was outside of the normal time and there was no notification prior to the update. They only mention it after users complain to them about the site going down. So basically, in a nutshell, Anime Outsiders have went on to post a very interesting picture of how Funimation is redirecting their cancel subscription button into a non-functioning link, which is very weird considering why Funimation would do this, and if this so happens to be true, and if they're not allowing people to cancel and redirecting them to a non-functioning site, then the question lingers as to why. Why are they doing this? If the evidence does prove to be correct, then why exactly is Funimation not allowing fans to cancel their subscriptions following the events of Vic Mignogna's accusations? It doesn't seem to make any sense. And with that being said, we also go back to Dominique Sky, who also seems to be replying to many fans that are supporting Vic Mignogna, as an individual that goes by the name of Kathy went on to respond to Dominique and stating, I quote, "I want to find out where all of this evidence that people say happened out in public. Since most of these happened in public, there should be at least a shred of evidence." As Dominique went on to reply to Kathy and stating, and I quote, "Testimony is evidence. You're a little late to the game. already been discussed. As another individual by the name of Matthew went on to respond to Dominique in stating, and I quote, "I'm not defending blackface, I'm defending a joke. This is no better than what happened to Dan as he got jailed over a joke because it hurts people's feelings." As Dominique goes on to reply to Matthew and having to state, and I quote, "You defend some whack-ass people," and having to showcase the individual who was arrested some time ago about making a joke, in course, involving his dog, as Jamie Marchi went on to actually reply and having to state, and I quote, "The blackface lawyer?" As an individual by the name of Doug goes on to reply, "Yep, the one that's gonna help sue your employer." As Jamie Marchi goes on to respond to Doug in stating, "Oh, is it the employer now? It's a revolving door of who will get sued, so I guess we've temporarily stopped on this. Good luck with that, hashtag blackface lawyer." As another individual by the name of Sneak Thief goes on to reply to Jamie in stating, "He literally just explained the whole blackface BS. Do I need to private message you the link or something?" As another individual by the name of Xavier goes on to reply by stating, "I mean, Governor Ralph Norton also explained why he did blackface. I guess that makes what he did okay, is that what you're saying?" As Matthew goes on, "When your friend who was quote targeted of it agreed with it, then yes, it is a joke, not a racist statement." As Dominique replies, "Blackface equals racism." So everyone seems to be going back and forth about the blackface, the quote blackface lawyer, as Ron Toye seems to be attacking people in their stances. Funimation, seemingly enough, is blocking off their cancel subscription box and redirecting you somewhere else. And again, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button on this channel because I will be covering everything involving this entire situation from both parties, from IStandWithVic and hashtag KickVic, Monica Rial, Vic Mignogna, Ron Toye, and everybody else involved. As one of the final pictures I want to go on ahead and showcase on Twitter here is a conversation between Dominic and Ron over on Twitter, of course, as Ron goes on to state, and I quote, "LOL, again, that's not evidence. Did you read her letter? And he assaulted way more people than that," of course, elaborating on how Vic Mignogna had assaulted and sexually abused a lot of people. As Dominique went on to reply to Ron and having to state, and I quote, "Block him. Let's go back to talking about tequila." As Ron goes on to reply, "Yes ma'am, tingles a little, a command and a positive redirection. I like your style." As of course Ron went on ahead to block Night Blur. As Dominique replies, "Haha, the femdom in me rejoices," referencing of course feminism. As Ron replies, "Shivers, I aim to please. Wink face." Now, again, a lot of people are going to redirect their focus in saying that this is all a part of the social justice movement, feminism having to take over, and a lot of people in the comment section have been questioning Ron in why exactly he is standing with such egregious people and having to do very egregious things and not answering questions directly. And I want to get your thoughts in the comment section below, guys, as to how you all feel personally about this in relation to how Ron and how Sky and how Monica and Jamie Marchi and many other people are responding to their criticism and questions being asked against the Vic Mignogna case, but also more or less, what are your overall thoughts on the entire situation? Do you guys think that Vic has a chance in smashing these people in court, or is there some kind of evidence supporting the narrative that Vic is in fact in the wrong here, especially with what everyone has been saying from that side, from that circle, in accusing him of abusing so many people? And what are your overall thoughts on Funimation having to act very funny in this entire case, because many other people have been coming out saying that they can't cancel their subscription, it's taken them to an unknown, unworkable site, so things aren't starting to make sense for a lot of people that are looking to cancel for that. And again, I highly encourage for there to be an intellectual conversation between all parties, and more importantly, be sure to go on ahead and spread and share these videos out to get the information out as to what exactly is happening, because a lot of people have been sharing the content, which is good, because the more people know about this, the more they get to see, you know, both sides here and seeing what Vic's been going through in terms of hiring a law firm and having to seek legal action, and then seeing the accusers going ahead and pester fans and having to, you know, just come off very unprofessional. People need to see this. So I want to get your thoughts down below, guys. Follow me at Twitter at UnrealNetwork. Also, guys, be sure to subscribe to my main channel, UnrealNetwork. Of course, we will be covering lots of awesome Dragon Ball content on there, fan mangas, reviews, and many great things to come in the foreseeable future for those that are unaware of my primary channel, as of course this this channel as well. Thank you all so much for your overwhelming support. I do appreciate that a lot. Again, if you have any articles, pictures, or posts to show me, make sure you guys go on ahead and send it to me at Twitter at UnrealNetwork. Thank you all so much for your time. Thank you all so much for your support. And I'm going to close this video off by showcasing one of my good friends, EmoshIsLive's videos, in which I highly encourage you guys to go on ahead and subscribe to him, which basically illustrates a good point in what exactly the hashtag KickVic movement is doing. So I hope you guys sit back and enjoy and check out the final portion of this video. Again, I will be seeing you on Twitter and on the next video. So without wasting any more time, let's get straight into it.
False claims suck. It hurts the real survivors and isn't fair. I'm glad that you realized that. I'm glad that people are starting. I'm glad that people on this side of the aisle are starting to realize these things the minute that it's confirmed that Vic Mignogna is actually luring up now. I'm glad that this is that these things are being realized, but the problem is it doesn't fix the damage that's done. It's not going to restore the guy's reputation. It's not going to give him access to making money the same way he did for over 20 years like he claimed. That's the problem. You guys aren't willing to fix that. You're simply willing to go onto social media and, you know, try to like calm the storm that you've created down with damage control and simply saying sorry on a social platform, and there's a reason why I'm not buying this apology, and I'm going to further explain as I go down these his tweets. So it says, it hurts the real survivors and it isn't fair. I want healing on both sides, and I don't condone falsification on either side or violence. You have, and let's just say that he's turning over a new leaf now. Ironically, again, once again, that we find out that Vic is luring up 100%. Fine, let's just say that is the case. He also goes on to say that I also want to say that I have acted childish. Monica was under attack. I responded to some with profanity. Vic needs help for what he did, but I could have handled this better. No one wants division. Sorry I can't produce additional evidence, but I am changing the way well, let's stop right there. If you guys, I did a video talking about a response to that Umbrella guy's videos. That Umbrella guy, right? I responded to one of his videos, and one of the things that I really stressed on there is that these people are not good at apologies, right? When they apologize and still blame it on you when they do it. They, like I've said before, well, this wouldn't have happened if you guys didn't do this to me. This wouldn't have happened if you guys didn't offend me. And the picture that I have above my head right now, above my webcam, is fitting for this because that is a throne for keyboard warriors. And a lot of you guys are a lot of you guys are in line for that throne. There's a reason why I'm skeptical about it, because he says that he wants healing on both sides. Well, first of all, Mr. Ron, Mr. Toye, let's acknowledge that your fiance or your wife, whatever she is to you, with all due respect, she's the one that said that after this stuff happening to her, after all these bad things were happening to her that Vic Mignogna was doing to her, she sought therapy to forgive him. There's no healing in that. And the fact that so not even therapy can help her forgive him, right? Because she's still smashed on him anyway, right? And her claims are kind of outlandish and they don't really correlate to anything she said previously on Twitter. And the problem with lying is that you have to remember every lie you've told. That's the problem. For people who are honest, I'm not saying that you're 100% honest, but what I'm saying is that when you tell the truth most of the time, you don't have to remember what you said. But when you lie, and when you people lie on behalf of one another, eventually it gets so difficult to keep up with one another's lies that at this point it's like, well, okay, guys, what are we gonna do at this point? Our argument's falling apart. And Samantha Anyway Arte is a perfect example of this, right? Despite being called out for lying and caught lying, she still provides her police report that doesn't provide any kind of evidence to anything. It's not an argument to provide. It doesn't help her case. It doesn't help your side anyway. So I don't understand what you guys are doing at this point, right? People don't need any more hate. Yeah, Vic has been trying to say this from day one. From day one. To the people I was rude to, I am sorry. But Monica was under attack. I was rude to you because, she was under attack and you were attacking me and you offended me, so I had to attack you. There's a right and wrong way to do things, guys. So, and then he adds Vic Mignogna again. He says, I hope you got the help you are working on. Yeah, he got it. A lawyer. That's the help, motherfucker. That's the help that he got. He got legal help. Something that you guys claim to have done multiple times and still come on Twitter and put everything out there and act the complete opposite. You act in a way that you're not supposed to when you're pursuing a potential charge or a potential case. When you're going forward with a case, you don't act that way because it hurts your case. And this is why you guys are apologizing. This is why I can't really I'm skeptical about it. I want to believe it because I want this shit to stop. At the same time, it's difficult to believe this because now you're inciting Vic Mignogna to come into contact with you on Twitter, in DMs, and via phone call. The reason he can't do that is because he's 100% pursuing this case. So he cannot do that. His lawyer will tell him, do not talk to anybody on that side. I know. Okay, I've been to court in and out, and it's not an appeal to authority, but as someone who has experience going to court and dealing with lawyers, they will tell you, never respond, don't contact them. They're not allowed to do that. If a case has been initiated, or if it's in the process of becoming initiated, you are not allowed to contact anybody, okay? They're supposed to contact the lawyer or stuff like that. Their lawyer is supposed to contact his lawyer, so on and so forth, and hopefully they can squash it up before it goes to court. I personally don't see that happening. I think damage is done at this point, and there's really not much to talk about. So going forward, he says, sorry, I can't produce additional evidence, but I am changing the way I go about this. People don't need any more hate. To the people I was rude to, I am sorry. To Vic Mignogna, I hope you get the help you are working on, and I would like to talk to you man-to-man on the phone to address my issues and extend an olive branch. If you are down, DM for the number. No, there's nothing to talk about. I was mad because someone assaulted my fiance and many of my friends. Yes, you were mad that someone assaulted your fiance. Your fiance claimed that this stuff was happening in front of her friends, in front of her colleagues, and in front of open people, and she herself didn't even realize it was inappropriate, which means that you'd have to ask her. And it's not me insinuating that, okay? As a man who's reading that, when a girl or someone, you know, comes to me with claims like that and says it in that context, I can't help but wonder, well, what kind of behavior does she actually find inappropriate? If she's letting people grab her fistful of hair, twisting her, or like getting close to her neck and cheek and making physical contact, getting into your personal space, that's literally an invitation. That's not something anyone should condone, really. And I don't condone that. But to accuse someone of doing that, and to really say that you never really realized that behavior was inappropriate, you'd have to question her on her claims, Mr. Ron Toye. You'd have to ask her what exactly the problem is and what exactly happened, because it does sound fabricated, you know, and I'm not going to apologize for saying that stuff. You'd have to understand that. And obviously, my opinion probably doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, this stuff more likely will go to court. And then you pretty much just go on his Twitter page, and you can see that his whole demeanor has changed, right? He's not this emotional asshole anymore, right? He's being a little more careful with the way he says things, and that's because, well, Vic Mignogna did not respond to him, okay? I tried to apologize. He didn't want to call me, so I guess I'm fucked. That's pretty much what Ron is thinking, what this camp is thinking. And it's hilarious, you know? And it's hilarious in the sense where obviously these people's pain is not entertainment for me, but they put themselves in this shithole, and they deserve it. And the damage is done. There's nothing you guys can say or do to help this man get his career back. He has to pursue legal action. He was let go. He suffered a major economic loss, right? And there's a lot of evidence to prove malice and ill intent. And to insinuate here, he goes on to, like, look at the way he's tweeting over here. What about innocence until proven guilty? Yeah, you don't get to make that claim because the accused gets to say that. What about that? Like, the accused gets to say that. If you're accusing someone without anything at all, okay? And you go and your limit, the ending point for you is only on social media, then it's nothing but an accusation, and that's slander. I'm not asking for evidence. You're not liable to do that. I understand that. I'm 29. I understand that you don't have to give me physical evidence. The fandom is not asking you to provide them physical evidence. The only way they will believe you is if you guys were willing to pursue this in court, and you weren't. You guys waited for him to do it, and you guys fucked up so bad that he has an actual case to whoop y'all asses now, and now all of a sudden you guys want to extend the olive branch. This is why I'm skeptical, but I will say that at least you did try to apologize. The timing is completely off, and ironically enough, the timing has been so off so many times with you guys that this is why we don't believe victims. This is why we can't stand behind survivors, because you guys are victims of yourselves, right? And honestly, I'd be surprised if you guys survive this. You know, obviously you physically will, but I'm just saying that this is going to be something that will go down in history and that people will not forget. You guys have shitted on this fandom. You guys have took fans who have supported you because of who you are and tossed them to the wayside simply because they don't believe you or because they don't agree with your premise. And that's fucked up, because you guys would expect the same kind of treatment. You guys would expect that kind of, and ironically enough, Mr. Ron Toye is asking for that for Monica. He says, what about innocence until proven guilty? Is that only for Vic? Monica is innocent of lying until proven guilty, right? That's the problem. All of you guys have been proven to be liars. You guys have been proven to kind of switch up your stories and completely contradict and not be consistent and be extremely inconsistent with your stories. I don't understand what more you want from us at this point. What I would highly recommend for you guys to do is to just stay the fuck off of Twitter until this shit goes to court, and then come back and tell us what happened. Until then, just please, do yourself a favor. Alright, you guys are eating each other alive, and at this point, normally I would say that it's entertaining for me, but I actually feel bad for you guys. And with that, I'm gonna leave it to you guys in the comment section to let me know what your thoughts about this are. Thank you for listening. Take care.